Present in court today, we have Carly Owens and Leela, because that is not readable, Diane Nichols. John O'Neill Nichols, the second, is not here. Ms. Owens, can you state your full name for the record?
Carly Owens.
Okay, and Ms. Nichols, can you please state your full name for the record?
Leila Diane Nichols.
And Ms. Elam, counsel for Ms. Owens, if you can state who you represent and your name for the record.
Yes, I am attorney Taisha Elam and I represent Carly Owens.
Thank you. And counsel for the Attorney General's office.
Christine Brown-Cito for the Attorney General's office, Your Honor.
And we're defaulting, it looks like, Mr. Nichols.
Yes, Your Honor. So I guess we'll have to have a little hearing here.
Okay.
We've got agreements as to the people that are here.
Okay. And I do see in the court file, there is a citation and a return of service that shows Mr. John O'Neill Nichols II was served with a petition to establish the parent-child relationship in the Liberty. He was served in the Liberty County Jail on December 9th of 2022 with the pleading, and those papers have been on file with Liberty County since December 9th of 2022, the return of service. I don't believe he filed an answer or made an appearance.
We paid $500.
Mom, that's not what she's talking about.
Okay, all right.
He has not filed an answer.
He has
Your
not
Honor.
filed an answer or made an appearance. Hold on one second. But I do see a notice of court proceeding virtual was filed with the court on September 5th of 2023 that showed today's court date, September 15th, 2023 at 10 a.m. And it did provide the Zoom information to both appear by video conference or through telephone conference today. And that certificate of service was signed by an assistant attorney general and shows service was sent on August 30th to Miss Leila Nichols, Carly Owens through her attorney, Miss Elam, and to John O'Neill Nichols II. So I take judicial notice of that notice of court proceeding virtual and find he had notice of today's setting, despite the fact he didn't file an answer. And so you may proceed.
Thank you. I'm going to start with calling Miss Owens, if that's all right.
Yes.
Will you please state your name?
Carly Owens.
And we are here today to talk about your son. Is that correct?
Yes.
Now, who is his father?
John Nichols II.
Third.
No.
And Your Honor,
Yes.
at this time, I would offer the genetic test result.
And Miss Owens, do you have any objection? I'm sorry, Miss
No.
Nichols, do you have any objection to me admitting the DNA test results?
No.
Okay, I'm going to admit that as State's Exhibit A. You may proceed.
Now, Miss Owens, since this was filed, you and Miss Nichols have worked out some agreements. Is that correct?
Yes.
Is Carson now living primarily with you?
Yes.
Is he going then to visit Miss Nichols on weekends?
Yes.
And it appears that your Mr. Nichols will not be out of being incarcerated for a while. Is that correct?
Yes.
Do you know when he's set to be released?
I think 2025.
2026.
Oh, okay.
Your Honor, at this time, I'm going to offer the TDCJ information that shows a projected release date.
Is that the inmate information details or the parole search?
The inmate.
Okay.
I
Does anyone
can
have
read
any objection to me admitting that as State's B?
No, Your Honor, no objection.
I'm going to admit that as State's B.
Your Honor, and that shows that he is to be projected release date of April 13th of 2026. Now,
Yes.
Miss Owens,
Yes.
the agreement that y'all have is that all of y'all will be named joint managing conservators, and you will be the primary conservator for Carson. That means where he lives. Is that correct?
Yes.
Right.
And what county are you in right now?
Harris County.
Harris. Okay. So if we were to put Harris and Liberty and contiguous counties, would that be all right with you?
Yes.
Okay. Now, as far as weekends, if we were to say second and fourth weekends for Miss Nichols, if y'all can't agree on something, that those weekends would be her weekends. Is that good with you?
Yes,
Okay.
but we communicate. We're on good terms. So
And y'all keep doing that. We don't want to break anything up. Now, as far as Mr. Nichols, since he is incarcerated, we would set child support at 0 right now, and until something happens and he is no longer incarcerated, and we can start up child support again. Does that sound good to you?
I didn't really want the child support thing, but
She's talking to Carly, not you.
And how is your son covered for health insurance?
Medicaid.
Okay. So we would set the child support and medical support at 0 at this time until
Okay.
he's released. And if he's released, then we would look at that again.
Okay.
Your Honor, I'll pass this witness.
Okay, Ms. Elam, do you have any questions for Ms. Owens?
Ms. Owens, just one, based on the agreement that you've reached with Mrs. Nichols and the agreements with respect to the release of John from jail, do you believe that all these terms are in the best interest of your son?
Yes.
That's all I have, Your Honor.
Okay. Are you going to specify the timeframes for Ms. Nichols to have visitation on the second and fourth weekends?
6 p.m. to 6 p.m. Sunday. Is that good?
Yes,
If they can't work anything else out?
that's fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
You may call your next witness, Ms. Bronzato.
Thank you, Your Honor. I will call Miss Nichols. Will you please state your name?
Layla Diane Nichols.
And we're here today about your grandson. Is that correct?
Yes.
Now, you've heard me announce some agreements. Did you hear them?
Yes.
Okay. And it is true that Carson is living primarily during the week with his mom. Is that correct?
Yes.
She's got him enrolled in school.
Yes.
And that's a good thing, right?
That's right. It's the
And,
best way.
and we're going to name your son and Miss Owens as joint managing conservators, but Miss Owens will be the primary.
Right.
Okay. And you will have visitations on the second and fourth weekends if y'all don't work something out. Y'all can always work something out between the two of you. Okay.
Right.
But if you can't work something out, you have the second and fourth weekends from 6 p.m. on Friday to 6 p.m. on Sunday. Does that sound good?
Yes.
Okay. And is that what you're wanting to make sure happens here?
Yes.
I would pass this witness.
You, Ms. Elam, do you have any questions?
Just
for Ms.
one.
Nichols? Okay.
Just one, Ms. Nichols, based on the agreement of you having the child on the second and fourth weekend and the recitations with respect to your son while he's incarcerated, do you believe these terms are in the best interest of Carson, of your grandson?
Yes.
Thank you.
One question. It looks like your pleading, Ms. Bronzato, had a determination of disclosure of address portion. Is anybody needing a non-disclosure or requesting a non-disclosure at this time?
Ms. Nichols, are you okay with your address being placed in the court order?
Yes. Yes.
Ms. Owens, are you okay with your address being placed in the court order?
Yes.
I don't believe we do. They're getting along so well. I think everything's going good.
Great to hear. Okay, I'm going to find that Mr. John O'Neill Nichols is in default and render judgment based on the agreements and testimony today. So all three parties will be joint managing conservators, with Miss Owens having the right to determine the primary residence of the child within Harris, Liberty, or any county contiguous to Harris or Liberty counties. Did we lose anybody for this hearing? I think we did.
There's an issue.
Yeah, I just feel a little weird ruling without her here. Even though she agreed to it. So I'm not doing anything that's deviating from what she agreed to. And she did hear that I said I was going to render based on their agreements, right?
Yes.
I could probably leave it at that. Because your agreements were read into the record and specific.
Right. Then we'll just set it for October 13th.
Okay. And make sure you notice her since she's not here to hear that on the record.
Right.
We'll try to get everybody's signatures. If we
Yeah.
can pass it up. If you have any problem, Ms. Elam, send it to me and I'll send it to her.
She
Send
just
it-
texted me and said her phone died, that she needs to log back on.
I think we're okay. You proved it up clearly, and then I clarified anything that wasn't. So I think it's clear what your agreements are. And then you'll note if you need to notice her for the 13th. If everyone signs off on the order, no one has to show for order entry.
Okay.
If there's a drafting dispute that you want heard by me, definitely show up for order entry. And at that point, Ms. Brownzada will notice her to be here. So she'll have
Yeah,
notice.
if we
of
don't
that
get it
setting.
entered by then, we'll have a hearing on something.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay,
I'm so
great.
sorry, guys.
That's okay. Okay, so as I had said, I am approving all of your agreements. And so that included, I think I'd left off with the residency restriction. We are establishing the paternity for the child and establishing that Mr. Nichols is the biological father. Miss Nichols will be ordered to have visitation as mutually agreed and without agreement on the second and fourth Saturdays of each month from 6 p.m. Saturday to 6 p.m. Sunday. Mr. Nichols, because he is incarcerated for an extended period of time, is ordered to pay child support of $0 each month beginning October 1st of 2023, and a cash medical payment of $0 each month beginning October 1st, 2023. And Ms. Owens will be ordered to apply for a government or medical assistance program, and I'm denying the non-disclosure. So we are setting this for entry, Ms. Nichols, on October 13th of 2023. They're going to circulate an order sometime before then, or at least that's the plan. And if everyone signs off on it, no one needs to show in October. If anyone is concerned with the way it's written or drafted, you'll appear here and then you can argue to me why everyone believes their drafting is the most appropriate, and I'd make a ruling. Thank you. I'm going to stop the recording.
Okay.
Bye. Love you. That's Harley.
This is a petition to establish the parent-child relationship and petition in suit affecting the parent-child relationship with an acknowledgement of paternity. Ms. Layla Daniela Galvan is not present today. You, sir, you're present on Zoom. Sir, do you know why Ms. Galvan is not here today?
Me?
Yes.
Oh, no.
Okay.
No, ma'am. I believe we both got a notice and, we were supposed to make time for this and be sure to show up.
I guess you may proceed, Ms. Bronzado.
Your Honor, there is a acknowledgement of paternity signed by the parties on the child Jayla.
Yes.
And then there is the child Gael that does not have a acknowledgement of paternity. And the question we have here today is, does Mr. Garza want paternity testing on the child Gael?
Is it free of charge?
Yes.
Yeah, we can go ahead and do that. I mean, yeah. I mean, I still love him as mine, but it wouldn't hurt.
Okay. And I am going to find that Miss Layla Daniela Galvan was served with the pleading. She was served on May 17th, 2023 in Liberty County, Texas. And that return of service that shows she was served has been on file with Liberty County since May 18th of 2023. So we are, and she also was noticed of today's setting. I also take judicial notice of the notice of court proceeding virtual that was e-filed on August 30th, 2023. It shows that the case is set today, September 15th, 2023 at 10 a.m. And it does provide the Zoom information to both log in through video conference or through telephone conference. And the certificate of service signed by an assistant attorney general does show that Ms. Galvan was sent this on August 30th, 2023. So I will order DNA for the child. Which child is that again?
That would be Gael.
Oh, yeah. Okay. And when would you like to reset?
December 1st. We'll be starting at 8:30 then.
Okay. So I'm ordering DNA and the case will be reset to December 1st, 2023 at 8:30 a.m. The Zoom information will be the same, but they will also be sending you another notice of hearing.
All right.
Okay. And they'll be contacting you to schedule the testing. It's swabbing in the mouth. It's non-invasive. And they will try to coordinate with everybody and hopefully we'll have results by December 1st. Okay. Do you have any other questions, sir?
No, everything sounds good. I
Okay.
appreciate you.
Sounds good. Thank you so much for coming in, sir, and we'll see you in December. A petition for confirmation of non-agreed child support review order with the underlying child support review order being a modification. This was filed by the Attorney General's office July 11th, 2023. All parties are on Zoom today. And before we begin, you both need to know that I am an associate judge. And so if at the end of this hearing, if you don't like my ruling, you can request that the referring court in Liberty hear the case. To do that, you have to put that request in writing and file it with the district clerk's office.
Gotcha. it. I'm on.
Hello? There's a lot of background noise.
It's not working. I have to move out the room.
and file it with the district clerk's office, and within 3 days of me signing in the order. You then have to coordinate with the referring court to get a hearing date, time, and location. You would then have to provide legal notice of the hearing date, time, and location to everyone in the case. And then you would have to follow any requirements of the court in Liberty County. They may have you do things that 4D court does not do, like possibly mediate or take parenting classes. And then you'd have to appear for your hearing. Also, even though we are on devices and computers, we treat this just like a courtroom. We give this our full attention. We take testimony in court, and so typically one person is asked questions at a time. If you're not the person being asked questions, please don't answer for the other party or interrupt them. Both of you will be given a chance to be asked questions, and both of you will be given a chance to speak as well, since it appears you don't have attorneys. Also, please know I don't work with the Attorney General's office. I don't have access to their files or notes or anything. And so obviously you had a child support review conference. All I know about that conference is what's in the pleading before me. I'm not supposed to know about the nitty-gritty details of your negotiation or anything that you've said on the phone to them or given them, unless it comes out during this hearing, or if it's in my court file, I won't know about it. So please be sure to say anything that you think is important, and please be sure to do it before I make my ruling. You may proceed.
Thank you. I would ask the court to take judicial notice of the prior order in this case. I believe that was an order signed on December 17th of 2019, ordering Mr. Lee to pay child support in the amount of $1,000 a month. And he was also carrying the children on his health insurance and dental insurance through an employer. Great. At this time, the state will call Ms. Allen.
Yes, ma'am.
Miss Allen, are you the mother of Kylan and Kate?
Keelan and Khalees, yes, ma'am.
Oh, Keelan and Khalees. Okay. And how old are your children?
22 and 16.
Okay, so Keelan has graduated high school.
Correct.
Okay. And on back on June 13th of this year, you participated in a child support review conference. Is that correct?
Correct.
And
yes, ma'am.
Are you still in agreement with that order that you signed?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And is Mr. Lee currently carrying your child on his health insurance through his employer?
Correct.
And is he also carrying your child on his dental insurance through his employer?
Correct.
Okay, I'll go ahead and pass this witness.
Okay, you may call your next witness.
I will call Mr. Lee. Mr. Lee, are you currently employed?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and who do you work for?
SET Environmental.
Okay, and how long have you worked there?
This go around, I've been there about 3 years now. Total back and forth due to the contract situations, I'd say around maybe 11 years.
Okay, and are you paid hourly or a salary?
I'm paid hourly.
Okay, and how much do you make per hour?
Let's see. I have 31.39.
31.39. Okay, do you work 40 hours per week?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
Okay, do you work any overtime?
Yes, ma'am, I do. Some months of the year I do. Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
The hotter months.
The hotter months. Okay, how much overtime would you say you work?
Here lately it's been averaging anywhere between 48 and 52 hours a week.
And what's your overtime rate?
It'll be 31.39 with half of it. What's half of 31?
So it's time and a half. It's time and a half.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. You said 48 to 52 hours. That's total, correct? Above, but that's a couple. That's
in
with, excess.
That'll be 8 to 12 hours a week. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. And you also have health insurance available through your employer for your children?
Yes, ma'am. That's correct.
Okay. And let me see. What was the cost of the health insurance?
Oh.
Would the amount of $500 a month sound correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
And it's just me and my daughter on there.
Okay, so just two people. Okay.
Does the 500 include you and your daughter, or is that just for her portion?
No, ma'am, that's both of us.
Okay. And you also had dental insurance available, correct?
Yes, ma'am, that is correct.
Okay, and was the cost of the dental insurance $43.33 a month?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
And,
sounds about right.
And are both of you also on that plan?
Yes, ma'am, that's correct.
Okay. And do you have any other biological children under the age of 18?
No, ma'am, I do not.
Okay. I'll go ahead and pass this witness.
Okay, so do you know the cost if it was just you on the health insurance?
I could, research and pull that up here shortly if you give me a minute. Pay quarter. Asking me to redo and reset my password. So it might be a minute. If you want to proceed, and I'll have that in a few minutes, or
Sure. You may call your next witness.
Yes, may I call Miss Valerie? Miss Valerie, would you state your full name for the court's record?
Felicia Valerie,
Okay, where do you work?
the Office of the Attorney General.
Okay, and what is your role there?
I am a child support officer.
And how long have you worked for the Attorney General?
11 years.
Okay, as part of your job duties, do you investigate the wages and assets of non-custodial parents?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, did you have the opportunity to do so in this case?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, did you find any wage information for Mr. Lee?
Yes.
And what did you find to be the gross monthly income for Mr. Lee?
The gross monthly income for Mr. Lee is going to be $8,965.
And was that based on the last year's quarterly wages?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And do you have a recommendation as to the amount of child support?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and what would that be?
The child support should be set at guideline of $1,335 per month.
Okay, I'll go ahead and pass this witness.
Right. Mr. Lee, do you have any questions for Miss Valerie?
no, ma'am, not at the moment.
Okay, and you heard what she said? I just want to make sure you were
Yes,
able to
ma'am.
hear all that. Okay. Miss Allen, do you have any questions for Miss Valerie? Miss Allen,
No,
are you still
ma'am.
with us? Okay.
Yes, ma'am, I'm here.
The state doesn't represent either of you. So I'm going to give you each a chance to say anything else you think I need to hear. Mr. Lee, I guess we'll start with you.
All righty. All right, for the past 3 years, I've been paying $967 or $990 plus insurance for my daughter. I know it's considered to be gifts or whatever, but I've always helped out with school clothes and shoes and band instruments and everything outside of paying the $1,000 a month. And the amount that was the amount that she spoke, like, I just don't feel it was fair. I do have a life. I'm trying to make it on my own. I'm a single, somewhat parent. I work, come home, pay my bills, and the last 3 to 4, I work for the Entergy, which is a light company here in this area. And during the colder months, taking that be November, December up to January, I do have here written down my checks. Usually during the peak months, which is summertime, transformers are blowing up, whatever. Usually bringing in around, after taxes, around 21 to 23. But if you could look back between December, January, and February of last year, instead of bringing home 23, 1 week I brought home on 2/9 I brought home $1,400. On 1/26 I brought home 19. On 1/12 I brought home $1,598. On 12/29 I brought home 17. On 12/1, December 1st, I brought home 15. And my hours fluctuate due to the weather. We work with electrical transformers. So last November, December, January, and February, I barely made it. Paying $1,000 a month. I did have to rely on my parents a month or two during that situation. I sent in some paperwork. I was given an email address to send in paperwork as far as the extra I've done between the months of September, October, November, and December. I emailed it and put the case number on there. I'm not sure if you received it, Judge.
It doesn't go to me, sir.
Oh,
It would
okay.
probably go to the Attorney General's office. Remember, I just said I don't have access to their information.
Yes, ma'am. Well, I sent in copies of my Cash App information to Jessica between September, October, November, and December of last year. I have over $500 sent to Jessica for my daughter as far as getting hair done, helping pay for her band instruments and other things like that. And I do have over $600 to $700 in cash out receipts to my daughter. I assist with school clothes, everything else when I'm asked. I go over and beyond past the child support order what I have to pay. So the amount of $13.80, I'm just not sure because my pay per hour has not dramatic. It hadn't. It's not a big difference. From 3 years ago.
Okay, Ms. Allen, is there anything else you'd like to say?
Ma'am. No, ma'am, I don't have anything to say. Because the stuff that, because I have a text message that I had sent in stating that he will pay whatever they order this go round, because I helped him out, the first time that we had went to court, like back in, I guess, 2019, but I don't have anything to say. Because as far as I know you don't have access to that, but as far as he's saying something about cash out, it was petty. Like if I asked him, hey, you want to buy us crawfish and stuff like that. So I have those receipts as well with anything that he didn't send me personally as cash out. I don't have anything. I don't know nothing about the money that he sent Khalees on her cash out, even though it's gifts that he sends. So I'm not sure.
Ms.
But I
Valerie,
don't have anything to say.
okay. Ms. Valerie,
Thank you.
your calculation, does that include a year's worth of income when you calculated his gross income?
Yes, it included the quarters, the second quarter of 2023, the first quarter of 2023, the fourth quarter of 2022, and the third quarter of 2022.
And was any of this drastically different than 2022 and 2021?
No, ma'am. The wages weren't drastically different. Mm-mm.
And do you see the pattern he's talking about where the winter or colder months are lower? This would be a first quarter.
December, it started off December of last year up until January and February. I started making a little more the second check of February.
So that question
Yes,
was
A
to Ms.
little.
Valerie.
It does deviate a little. It does go down a little. Yes, it does. It does change in the earlier months. Well, the last of the year and the beginning of.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, it does change some.
Okay, does anyone have anything else before everyone rests and I make my ruling?
I just want to also throw out there that in her household there is 6 kids, 2 of them being mine. My oldest, he's old enough to take care of himself, and I'm the only one law-abiding paying child support in that household. So
How would you know what's in my household?
Ma'am, this is not a back and forth conversation.
No, I'm just, no, I know. I understand.
Yeah, Your Honor, the state would ask the court to confirm the order as written based upon Ms. Valerie's testimony.
Okay, I am going to confirm the order as written based on the testimony and based on the fact that it does seem like your salary varies, and I appreciate that, sir. But they are averaging out over a full year, so it should include all those peaks and valleys. I know the hard months are going to be the winter, and it's just going to be it's something you're going to have to work around. But child support does ideally, child support is set based on a long period of time and then averaged, because it does then cover peaks and valleys for everybody. So I'm going to confirm the order as drafted.
okay.
Thank you. The Attorney General's office will submit a finding page to me as well as the original order attached. I'll be reviewing it and making sure it does match my ruling, and then I'll be signing off, and I'll be sending you a copy for your records.
Yes, ma'am. And what was that final number?
It is 1335.
All righty. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. And thank you, Miss Allen. You are all free to go. Thank you.
Thank you.
Ma'am, I have a question.
Okay, I probably can't answer, but you can answer. You can ask it. We might have to move you to a breakout room to talk to the Attorney General's office.
Okay, I was just wanting to know, would it be back since the June court date?
It's as drafted, so yes.
Okay.
No, I was told June, July, August. No, I was told we were supposed to go in July, but there was some mix up with the court causing it to have to be today. And she said I would not be penalized from those months because it wasn't my fault. We were supposed to go on July 14th.
Let's reopen this for testimony on the start date. I heard no testimony on this issue.
One moment. The state can recall Miss Allen. Okay. Miss Allen, whenever you had the child support review conference, did you originally agree to be in court on July 14th?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And why is it that you were not present on that July 14th date?
Oh no, I was present. The lady had called me and sent me an email and stated that it would be from September to this day here.
She didn't give you any further reason?
No, ma'am.
Okay. I'll go ahead and pass the witness.
Okay.
And Mr. Lee, the state will recall Mr. Lee.
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Lee, you had originally agreed to attend court on July 14th for this case, correct?
Yes, ma'am, that is correct.
Okay, and why did you not attend the July 14th date?
On the 12th or the 13th, I had yet to receive any login information. So I called in to the Attorney General's office and I spoke with Dahlia, and she told me that the docket, her name was Raven. On September, her name was Raven, and she told me that they had not yet to file the docket or something. And she asked, could I come in person in August, or would I prefer the Zoom call in September? And I chose the Zoom call. She said they were late turning in the docket or something like that. I was ready. I was calling in to get my login information a couple days before, and that's when they realized that somebody dropped the ball on us filing the docket.
Your Honor,
and I was told by Miss Raven that I would not be penalized.
may I explain?
I don't want to make you a witness, Ms. Bronzato.
I just know why. I just know if you look at the
I know that the case got reset last time before the docket. I'm well aware of that.
Yeah, if you look at the file mark dates.
And I personally don't know the answer, so I'll pass Mr. Lee as a witness.
Okay. I'm going to modify your order. I'm going to start the new child support September 1st, 2023. Do be aware, so your salary has been this amount for quite some time, and you all were served. And by Texas law, child support can start, the new one up or down can start as early as the last date of service for all parties involved. So I'm going to compromise and do it on September 1st of 2023, the new amount of 1335.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Okay, and you are all free to go. First amended original
Thank you. Have a
petition
great day.
suit affecting the parent-child relationship and to establish the parent-child relationship. This was filed by the Office of the Attorney General on August 4th, 2023. And this case was transferred here to Liberty County from Montgomery County. All parties are present on Zoom today. You may proceed.
Your Honor, at this time, I will call Ms. Towns. Will you please state your name?
Megan Towns.
And we are here today to talk about your children, Bristol and Wyatt. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And who is Bristol's father?
Zane.
Your Honor, at this time, I would offer the DNA test results with regards to Bristol.
Okay, it looks like there's two DNA results that were sent. Are they different?
The one that says genetic test results.
Okay. So that's number two, because they look identical.
Okay.
One of them is labeled OAG1 to OAG10, and then we have OAG11 to OAG20. Do you know which one you want me looking at?
If they're the same, just
well, I didn't look close. I'm looking just at the top. I haven't admitted it yet, so I really am not able to look at the document in that kind of level of detail. I'm just trying to
Okay.
look at big picture things that identify the document.
They're labeled?
They're both labeled DNA test report. And they both show a test sample date in 2023. So I'm
That's
not sure
weird.
that they're different.
That's weird because I only have one here that says DNA test results. It just says genetic test results on mine.
They got submitted to me twice as number 1 and 2.
It may have. It looks like it got put on there twice.
Okay. So does it matter which one I
No.
enter? Okay. Does anyone have any objection to me entering a DNA test result as an exhibit in your case? You have to answer with yes or no, so the record picks it up.
No.
Okay, thank you. I'm going to admit a DNA test result as states A.
Now, let's talk about your situation because it's a little bit complicated. You married Mr. Towns on April 14th of 2015. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And then you divorced from him sometime in either December of 2019 or January of 2020?
Yes, ma'am.
We don't have an exact date. Is that correct?
Correct.
What county was the divorce in?
Montgomery.
Okay.
And then you married Mr. Wood on March 14th of 2020. Is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm sorry, that was March
And-
14th of 2020 again?
Yes,
March
ma'am.
14th.
Okay.
Now, in sometime in January 4th of 2022, the two of you separated. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Now,
When did they separate? I'm sorry.
January 4th of 2022.
Okay.
It was actually
And
January 2nd.
the reason I was not fully paying attention was if Bristol was born in 2018 when they were married.
No, we were not.
I thought you said they married in 2015 and then divorced in 2020 or 2019.
She married Mr. Towns, the presumed father.
Who was she married to in 2015?
Mr. Towns. This is Mr. Wood.
Oh, okay. Okay, got it. So, okay, can we go through all that again? Then I did not.
Okay.
I'm not sure. I realized there was a presumed father. Give me one moment.
Now, as
Did
far
is he
as-
noticed? Does he need to be?
yeah, he was served
Okay.
August
Let me look at
18th.
that. No, no one said that. So give me one moment to look through this. Okay, I see that Benjamin Carl Towns was served. And take judicial notice of that.
Correct.
And I don't see that he has made an appearance or filed an answer.
That is correct.
And hold on, I'm trying to click on something, but it's not working properly. So let's go over this again now that I more understand what we're talking about. So in 2015, she married Mr. Towns.
Is that correct, Ms. Towns?
Yes.
Okay.
And then you divorced Mr. Towns in 2000, either December of 2019 or January of 2020. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And
And
did their
Bristol
divorce
was-
decree reference Bristol? Have you all seen
I'm
it?
sorry. I'm sorry.
Does your,
He signed a paper in the hospital whenever she was born saying that she was not his. And that was also done during the divorce proceeding. I know because it got pushed, like the divorce got pushed because we had to sign a paper on that.
so did Mr. Wood sign that paper as well?
Yes, I'm pretty sure, yes.
Okay.
And as far as I
can't-
know, we don't have an acknowledgement of paternity on that child. So we did DNA.
And your divorce decree didn't do anything else with regard to Bristol?
No, ma'am.
Okay.
Because like I said, he had went to the hospital when she was born and signed a paper stating that that was not his child.
Okay. You may proceed, Ms. Bronzito.
Thank you, Your Honor. So Bristol was born when you were married to Mr. Towns,
Mhm.
and then you divorced Mr. Towns. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And even though we don't have copies of those papers, that if it was an acknowledgement of paternity, we didn't find it. We did DNA testing, correct?
I could look that up if you'd like. I have access to Montgomery County right next to me. I think I remember you all from when we transferred your case, to be honest.
I mean, as long as, I mean, we have the.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I don't know that it's
paternity test.
necessary. Okay.
Yeah, we've got the DNA test results, Your Honor. I think we're good.
Okay.
And then you got married to Mr. Wood, and then a little over a year later, you had Wyatt. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. He was born in what, April of 21?
Yes.
Okay. Who did Bristol and Wyatt live with?
Me.
Now, when did you and Mr. Wood cease living together?
January 2nd of.
So let one person answer at a time, and you'll get your chance to be asked questions as well.
Sometime in January of 2022?
Yes.
Okay. And since that time, has Mr. Wood seen the children?
Yes.
When did he see the children?
He saw them, I don't know his specific dates, but I know that he has saw them twice in person, and he's had FaceTime visits with them. I don't know exactly how many.
Do you think it's in the children's best interest to go with Mr. Wood right now for a whole weekend out to West Texas?
No.
Do you think it would be okay for him to build up with some supervised visitation, and then for
yes.
say 6 visits, and then 4 hours, and then build that up? And once he finishes all those, he'd be able to take them out to West Texas if he visited with him out there?
As long as they were brought back in a timely manner, and that's what I absolutely, whatever we need to do.
Now, how are your children covered for health insurance?
Can I just clarify that? Is she asking for any supervised or just starting with stair step?
I'm starting. I would like to start with supervised visitation, just because Wyatt is so little, and there hasn't been many visits between now and then. Just a chance to get him used to being around them.
And once he is no longer supervised, he has family in the area? Is that true?
I'm not aware of where his family is at.
Okay. But when he's no longer supervised, then as long as he didn't go all the way back out to West Texas until the standard visitation started, you'd be okay with that?
Yes.
Okay. And if he went with his family for 4 hours and then brought him back, you'd be good?
Yes.
Or went with him all day with his family and then overnight, you'd be good with that as well?
That would be after, that would be the stages, correct?
Yes.
Yes. I'm just making sure I'm understanding.
First visits would be for 4 hours supervised. Then after that, there would be visits for 4 hours unsupervised.
Okay.
And then visits after that would be from 9 to 6 on one day. Okay.
Okay.
And after that, the visits will be, say, from 9 a.m. on Saturday to 6 p.m. on Sunday. Does that make the stages understandable?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, do you want your children to visit with their father?
Yes, I do.
Do you have safety concerns if he knows your address?
I don't. I have concern with behavior issues. As far as physical, no. I just want everything to be kosher for my children.
Okay. Are you requesting back child support or to start from here forward?
I am requesting back child support, yes.
So from when y'all split up in early January of 2022 until now, has Mr. Wood given you any money for the support of your children?
In total, he is giving me $600 since we have split up.
$100.
And y'all,
600?
Yes, ma'am. Sorry.
and that's been over the last what, approximately 18 months?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Have you kept him from visiting his children?
In the recent months, yes, I have, due to actions.
Okay, and how long has it been that you've kept him from visiting with the children?
The last time that I spoke with them would be this past year on Christmas.
They last spoke to him in Christmas time? Not you?
Yes, he spoke to them this past Christmas.
No, I did not.
So you're gonna get a chance to speak. I want to hear from both of you, but I can only focus on one person's side at a time.
I would pass this witness.
Okay, you may call your next witness.
I would call Mr. Wood. Will you please state your name?
Zane Wood.
Now you are Bristol's and Wyatt's father, is that correct?
Correct.
And you are not requesting DNA testing on Wyatt, is that also correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And you were married during the time that Wyatt was conceived and born, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
Ms. Prenzeto, I just want to clarify something. I think at one point you had said the issue before me was visitation. Do they, please answer for the record?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay,
Now,
are there any, do they have agreements on anything though? Am I making rulings on everything?
I figured since they don't have agreements on back child support. The current child support, I think the agreement is that the current child support is based on $19 an hour.
Okay, hold tight. Let me write this in a different place. So I
Okay.
have it.
And I can ask Ms. Towns this as well.
Okay, I just wasn't, because I was beginning to think I just need to know what I'm listening for.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, so you think they agree on child support, and what was that amount?
$19 an hour and 40 hours is $32.93.33 gross a month.
Okay,
And that comes to he has one other child, so that's living with him.
Mhm.
And so that comes to child support of $610 a month and $100 a month towards government health insurance.
okay.
So I misspoke. The other issue is back child support, whether that is an
What
issue.
about conservatorship? Do they agree on that?
Let me flesh that out, Your Honor. I'm not sure that I believe they
Okay.
do. Yes.
Okay, I just need to know, because again, it affects kind of what I'm listening for and possibly what I'm asking. So it's either way, it's fine. I just need to know.
Mr. Wood,
Yes.
it's my understanding that you are in agreement with the $610 a month child support beginning October 1st and
Yes.
medical support of $100 beginning October 1st.
Yes, ma'am.
With the two of you being joint managing conservators, with Ms. Towns being the primary conservator, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
May
As
I also ask that real quickly of Ms. Towns, Your Honor?
Yeah, and just to be clear, what is the no residency restriction, some residency restriction, what are they agreeing to?
He lives out in West. Mr. Wood, where do you live?
Midland.
Okay, in Midland, Texas.
Okay,
So it is not around here, not around.
so are they
Liberty
doing
City, is that-
Texas as a residency restriction, or?
Yeah.
So you were just asking Texas for residency restriction?
Yes.
Okay. Your Honor, may I ask Ms. Towns?
Yes, you may.
Ms. Towns,
For
are you?
the supervised visitations, that's going to be here, correct?
I have not ruled on it yet,
no.
ma'am. I'm still listening to evidence.
We're not
I'm
talking
just-
about the
I'm just trying to
visitation yet.
see if you, and it's okay either way. I'm not trying to pressure you into making agreements, but if you have agreements, I don't want to then make a ruling that varies from your agreements if I think they're okay too, because sometimes there's a few options that are fine.
I'm
And so
sorry.
I'm listening carefully to what you're all saying, and it's making me wonder if you have agreements. So I just need to know what is and isn't agreed to,
Okay.
and then I can move forward and make whatever
I'm
rulings I
sorry.
need to. So either way, it's fine with me. If nothing's in agreement, that's okay. I'm not at all trying to pressure you. I just want to know what I'm listening for and what I'm ruling on, and kind of where you all began this too. So it just affects my ruling in general.
Yes, ma'am. I'm sorry.
Ms. Towns?
It's okay.
Ms. Towns?
Yes, ma'am.
You've heard the child support of $610 a month and $100 towards medical based on $19 an hour. Are you okay with that?
Yes.
Okay. Now, your only question was back child support. Is that correct?
Yes, I don't even know how that works.
Now, as far as the two of you being joint managing conservators, with you being the primary conservator to establish the residency of your child, are you okay with that being within Texas, anywhere in Texas?
Yes.
Okay. So as far as that, you and Mr. Wood are on the same page?
Yes.
Okay. The only questions that we have then would be back child support and visitation. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. Your Honor, if I might then go back to Mr. Wood and
You may
finish
do
my.
so. Yes,
Okay,
and
thank
also,
you.
non-disclosure, I think, is at issue.
Did you wish for your name to be kept out of the order? I mean, your address, or are you okay with your address being in the order?
They know my address already, so it doesn't matter to me. My address can be in the order.
But she did express some safety concerns. I'm not
I
sure
do,
what they are.
I do have
but-
safety concerns with that, but it's not safety. I just don't want a bunch of craziness. They already know my address. They have it already. He does. Mr. Wood does.
But you might move. Do you have concerns at that point?
No, I don't want my address in the thing. I don't.
Okay, so that's an issue.
Okay. Miss Towns, is that just, you say simply because you don't want the craziness? Is there anything
Yes.
specific with safety?
No.
Okay.
There's no physical. No.
Your Honor, I would again pass this witness.
Okay, you may call your next witness.
Mr. Wood, would you please state your name again?
Zane Wood.
Now, do you have an issue if she doesn't want her address in the court order? Do you want her address?
I mean, my only issue is I need to know where my kids are. I mean, that's where they're living and who they're living with. You know, like I said, you know, she's got a felony warrant for her arrest. Walker County just contacted me not 2 months ago, you know, asking where her whereabouts are. I'm kind of concerned about my children because she hasn't let me have any kind of contact with them in over a year. It's been almost going on 2 years now.
Well, Mr. Wood, you did say that y'all split up in January of 22, which is not 2 years ago.
No, ma'am, it was 21.
Before your child was born?
I've got.
Was it before Wyatt was born?
No, it was after, but
Because he was born in April of 21.
Oh, I'm confused now. It's been over a year and a half since we had split up. I haven't got to talk. I haven't got to see my kids since not last Father's Day, but the year before that. I haven't got to talk to my kids since Christmas of not last year, but the year before that.
But y'all were still living together at that point, correct?
No, we were not.
You said you split up on January 2nd of 22. I'm confused.
I'm confused at this point now. I don't know what's going on. I have pictures and screenshots and everything of when the last time I saw my kids.
Let's go with it. Let's go with it this way. Okay. Your son was born in April of 21. Then y'all were still together that following Christmas. And shortly after New Year's, y'all separated. Is that correct?
Correct.
Yeah. Okay. Does that make it simpler?
Yeah.
Okay. So that would have been January of 22. And so you saw him in Father's Day of 22, right after that. Is that correct?
Correct.
And
What about the other child? Did you see both of them or just?
I got to see both of them.
Okay.
Did you take them off with you, or did you just see them at Miss Town's house?
My daughter spent the night with me. That was it.
Okay. And after that, you visited with them on Christmas, or you didn't visit with them the following Christmas?
No, I got a FaceTime with them, and that was the last time I got to speak to them.
Okay. Were you at that point when you FaceTime with them? Were you living in West Texas?
No,
And you have one other child, is that correct? That's with you right now?
correct.
Does that child live with you?
Yes.
All right. Now, Miss Town said you paid her over the last approximately 18 months, you've paid her $600. Do you have any reason to dispute that, or do you think you've given her more money than that?
That number sounds about right.
Okay. And was there a reason you didn't give her any support for your children during that time period?
Because she refused to let me see them or let me talk to them or have any kind of contact with me. I didn't even know how to send her money.
Okay.
You know, I've been doing everything I'm trying to do to have contact with my children and be there for my children. My daughter's birthday just passed. You know, I wasn't even allowed to talk to her on her birthday because I don't know why. I mean, this has been going on and going on and going on, and I would really like to speak to my children, know that they're okay, know what the environment they're in. You know, I don't know anything about what's going on in their life because she refuses to have any kind of contact with me.
Now, do you know where they are now?
I do have the address. Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Did she move after you all separated?
Yes, we were living in West Texas, and she picked up and left without a word.
I guess maybe I need a time frame of where you all, so you were together in West Texas. She left. At some point you left also, because I think you said you were not in West Texas.
Yes,
At
ma'am.
Christmas of 2022. And then you went back to West Texas?
Correct. I
Okay.
just recently moved back out here.
Okay.
Now, what kind of visitation are you requesting, Mr. Wood? Do you think it'd be in the best interest of your children?
I mean, I kind of agree with the stair stepping everything that way, because I don't want to just throw them back into the middle of all this. You know, their safety and their mental well-being is all I'm worried about. You know, I want them to be as comfortable as possible, and I'll do whatever I have to do in order to make that happen. You know, that's my whole goal here.
So you would be okay with six visitations at each level?
My only concern with that is the distance I'm having to travel. You know, it's 8.5 hours away. It's it's quite extensive. And then my job, I work a lot. You know, these past 2 weeks had 128 hours. I just that's going to be a lot.
What are you proposing that you would be able to do to visit?
I mean, like I said, I'll do whatever I have to do. So whatever the court rules, that's what I'll do. Just that's a lot of supervised visits for a couple hours at a time, a weekend or whatever, just to drive 8 hours. You know.
So are you requesting to start to visit with the kids for all day?
I mean,
at the first level, say from 9 to 6 all day, and then go to the overnight one nights before you take them off.
I would be completely fine with that. If we could start, I mean, that's still starting out slow enough, and my outlook of it, you know, I mean, they are my kids, and like I said, I've been trying to have contact with them for this long, and I haven't got anything.
So as far as her address being in there, do you have any anything to say about any safety concerns?
I mean, not necessarily safety, except for the fact that, like I said, she does have a felony warrant for her arrest. You know, if she gets picked up on this, you know, on a traffic violation or anything, you know, what's going to happen to my kids?
Do you know what they're alleging she did?
She went on the run from probation.
Do you know what she's on probation for?
Bribery.
Bribery or robbery? I'm sorry.
Bribery.
Bribery.
And that's out of Walker County?
Yes, ma'am.
Your Honor, I have no more questions of Mr. Wood at this time.
The state doesn't represent either of you, so I'm going to give you both a chance to speak. It looks like I'll start with Ms. Towns. It looks like you have something you do want to say. So now's your chance.
I'm not entirely sure what's going on with the probation part of it. I'm going to call myself and figure that out because that's new news to my ears because I was just at a courthouse and doing this makes no sense. That part of it I will handle because I don't run from the law. That's not as far as I want to do what is best for my kids. I want him in their life. I just want it done peacefully. I don't want whatever issues we had to be brought up because none of that matters anymore. I just want to be comfortable and happy. And whatever we need to do to get that there, that's my concern. On the supervised visitations, is there any way that we could go down to maybe 2 visits of supervised and then we can go to all day?
Who would be supervising the who do you propose would be supervising these visits, Ms. Towns?
I'm not entirely sure how that works. I really don't. I didn't know that I needed to pick somebody. I didn't know if they went to like a.
Well, there's no list for me, and so typically I pick people that people know because you all don't know who I know, and there's no like organization, and there are some organizations, but they're very expensive. So there are cases I do order it through an organization, but it's usually very extreme circumstances. So I usually try to start with who you all are comfortable with, and both of you. I'm not just asking her, Mr. Wood, please know that. And so when I'm asking you, it's, I don't know who you all know. I don't know who you all are comfortable with. The court doesn't provide supervisors, so I need to ask these questions. And I did hear you express concerns, although I'm not sure what the concerns exactly are, with some safety or just volatility issues between you two. So I'm not sure you'd want to be the one supervising, but I might be guessing there. I'm a little confused with some of this testimony. I'll be honest.
Honestly, okay. I know that he's not going to show up here and start beating anybody up or nothing. He's not going to do that. It's not safety. It's confrontation that gets.
But even confrontation, it doesn't seem like you would then be the appropriate supervisor if you two, butt heads.
Right.
Okay.
So I'm asking, do I need to pick like a mutual person?
That would be ideal. Someone who you're both comfortable with, who is comfortable with both of you, who won't bring any of your, like you were saying, like the stuff between you two doesn't need to be brought into his visits, especially these early ones when it's, we're trying to build the relationship back up between them. So ideally it wouldn't have any of this stuff involved at all. It would just be, Dad's here, let's do something fun. And let's, learn to love our dad. So yeah, ideally it'd be someone that you're both comfortable with, that the kids are comfortable with, that is not, like Miss Towns is right or he's right, like just someone who wants what's best for the kids. That's who we really want. No one who's holding a grudge against either of you, who can move past all this would be an ideal person if that exists.
Okay.
My brother.
Do you know his brother?
I do know his brother.
Do you trust his brother to move past whatever happened?
I do.
Okay. And he treats you okay? He doesn't?
Yes.
Okay. So you'd be comfortable with his brother?
Yes.
What is his name?
Casey.
And does his brother live near you, Miss Towns?
I am not sure where he lives at anymore, to be honest.
He lives in Hockley.
Where's Hockley?
It's out by Katy, right?
Yes.
So not exactly close to Liberty. And closer than where you are, but closer. It's all relative. It's not 8.5 hours away, but it probably is, I'm guessing, an hour to an hour and a half away, depending on traffic.
I don't know. I would have to look it up on GPS, to be honest.
That sounds about right. About an hour and a half, depending on traffic.
Yeah. Mr. Wood, what are you proposing logistically? Because it sounds like you all conceptually agree with I think you'd be okay with doing 2 supervised visits with your brother. Sounds like
Yeah.
both of you are good with that. How do you logistically want that to happen with your brother being in Hockley? Like what?
I'm pretty sure that I could get him to go pick the kids up or have them meet or something to, that way we're not butting heads in front of the kids and everything else. Because again, that's not what I'm trying to do.
No, I
My
hear
main
you.
goal is to make sure the kids are okay and they're happy, and that as a father, that is all I'm concerned about. My brother, we've already talked before this. He said he would do whatever he has to do to make sure everything's kosher. His fiance is actually a paralegal also. So, I mean, that kind of helps a little bit. I don't know, I guess, but I don't know. I'm okay with whatever the court's okay with.
And ma'am, what are you comfortable doing to make those visits logistically workable?
I'm comfortable with meeting. I mean, I
Meeting
can
somewhere? Okay.
drop them off with.
Where would you
whatever.
all want to meet up? I don't advise going into town. I think that's going to add time for both of you.
Could we do? I mean, Houston's right in between both of us, or Katie.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Like a Tascasita?
yes, ma'am.
Okay. Do you want to try and find like, I don't know, a Walmart or a McDonald's or something in a Tascasita so you have like a parking lot to go to? Or
I
a
know they
park.
have
You can
that.
even do a park, I guess. It's up to you all where you want to. Although I guess if you're not going to be there, Mr. Wood, then maybe a park might not be so good because then your child might want to go to the park. So yeah, like a Walmart parking lot might work well. They'd be willing to leave that.
The Walmart parking lot is fine.
Okay. Do you know of a Walmart in Atascocita that Miss Ronzato can put in the order? And that way you're both going to the same Walmart? It looks like it's both in Atascocita and Humble, so maybe it's not good. I don't know. Some of these show it in Atascocita and some of
Yeah,
these show it in Humble.
Tascasita and Humble are right there together.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
I-
that's why.
Yes, ma'am. That one is fine. The 6626 FM 1960.
I guess after you get past those 2 supervised visits, I'm guessing you'll still be meeting up. It sounds like, at least unless you all change your mind and it starts working better, you'll want to have your brother be picking them up at that Atascocita Walmart, even once you get past the supervised visits.
Once we get past it,
Yes.
is that what you're saying? Or-
Yes. What are
I
your
mean-
requests? Mhm.
Eventually, man, I don't have any problems with what Megan's got going on. I can look past all of our stuff. She's worried about me blowing up or whatever she's worried about. I've had their address for going on some months now, and I haven't showed up there not once. I'm trying to do everything the right way and trying to do right by my kids. So, eventually we're both going to have to grow up and learn how to get along with each other because we have children together. I mean, I hope it doesn't have to go on like this forever. I mean,
I don't want it to. I don't.
Okay.
I didn't.
So what do you want for, like, how do you want to do pickup and drop offs past the supervised phase? What are you all proposing?
I mean, if her and I can meet in public or I can go there or wherever, however it needs to happen is, I'm not opposed to it. So I guess whatever she feels comfortable with.
As
I'm sorry?
long as.
No, please talk. I just couldn't hear you.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I thought he was still going. I wasn't trying to be rude. I don't want it to be like this forever. I don't want any animosity. I don't want any fighting. After these supervised visits, we can meet in town, meet in the middle, whatever we have to do.
Okay. So you all need to ideally you 2 would pick a location that you're both happy with.
Right.
So, and I guess we need it in the order, unfortunately, which is why these hearings kind of get belabored. Do you all want, let's have you all look and propose locations and see if you can come to an agreement on it. Because I'll be honest, I'm not real familiar with what's in between where you all live. It's
I
far.
mean, if
I haven't
after
encountered
this
this yet.
stuff is, you know, because like I said, I live 8.5 hours away.
I know.
You know,
It's gonna
if
be
she
hard.
can meet me, Dallas is probably my halfway point. You know, in between here and there. If we can meet in Dallas or something somewhere, you know, when I do get the kids, that would be fantastic. You know, if not, if you can't make it, you know, I'll gladly come down there, you know, and pick the kids up myself. It would be ideal if we can meet halfway, though.
Ms. Towns, do you have a response?
I'm thinking. My only problem with meeting halfway right now would be I have an oil leak in my car, so I can't drive very far. I'm working on getting that fixed. But right now I can't even drive to Conroe. The furthest I could be able to drive would be to Humble to meet Kaysen. Now granted that's a ways from now, so it should be fixed. Other than that, I mean, I would be willing to meet halfway unless something were to happen, and then I would send proof and let him know what was going on, and we would figure it out from there. Is that okay?
I'm fine with that. Because I mean, I'm having car issues myself, so I kind of understand that.
I mean, I'm not trying. I want to do this the right way. I'm ready for it to all be over so that they can be happy. So
Another thing I am requesting though is if some FaceTime visitation phone calls or anything like that.
Is there a night during the week that would work well for you, ma'am, to let them do some FaceTime?
I can do that.
Okay, what night would work best? And I know over time you're gonna probably have to change it, but as the kids get older, they'll also be able to do some of this on their own.
Can Wednesday night be okay?
Yeah, that'll work.
At what time? 6, 7?
Can we do closer to 7:30 ish?
Are you even on the same time zone? Is Laredo still central?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. Between 7 and 7:30 is fine because I'll be done with dinner and everything.
Okay.
Why don't we say 7:15 for the order purpose?
And that's on Wednesday nights, correct?
So just to clarify and make sure everyone is on the same page with this, because I think you all kind of reached an agreement. Sounds reasonable. The first phase is going to be the first, third, and fifth Saturdays supervised from 1 to 5, supervised by his brother.
First, third, and what? I'm sorry.
Fifth Saturdays, supervised by his brother with that pickup at the Walmart.
Okay.
The second
Is that for
phase,
two times?
two visits. Yep.
Okay, thank you.
And then after that, you're going to jump to the 8 to 5 unsupervised. Just don't want to pick up at the Walmart for now. Once you get past these phases,
Yeah.
I'm going to move you to something else. Okay, so the Walmart exchange. And how many visits do you want of these 8 to 5 unsupervised?
We can do. We'll say 4. Is that
Okay, Mr. Wood?
Yeah. Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, and then after that, you're going to move to 6 p.m. Saturday to 6 p.m. Sunday.
9
Unsupervised.
a.m. 9 a.m. Saturday. It's usually a day and a half.
Are you sure?
I think so.
I don't know why it's not, to be honest, but I don't think it is. I'm okay with that though.
okay? What is it?
So you're proposing 8 a.m. Saturday to 6 p.m. Sunday?
I was 9 a.m. just
9
9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Sunday.
Okay. 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Sunday. And how many of those before you get to standard? And I guess we'll do the Walmart exchange again for this one.
4 on 1 overnights or what?
I don't know what she's asking.
How many 1 night overnights before
Um,
go into standard visitation?
we can do 4.
And then in addition to, and all of those in this stair step phase will be held in either Liberty or Harris County, right? That's safe, right? Your brother lives in Harris, we think, or does he live in Fort Bend, or does he live in?
I think it's actually Fort Bend County.
I was gonna say, that might be Fort Bend, and it could also be Austin, I guess, or Waller. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know, because Waller's right there too, and then like I said,
Okay, so how about all of these visits must be either in Harris or any county that touches Harris, because I think it covers all of those. And in addition, there'll be FaceTime. Well, then we'll move to the standard possession order.
Is there a
And
meeting place for that? Did we?
I was gonna do, oh gosh, I guess we need a place in Dallas, though. We can't just go to, Dallas is big enough that it needs a location.
There is right before you, and on 45, right before you get to Dallas, there's that Buc-ee's.
Yeah,
How
the
does that
Buc-ee's
sound?
bonus.
Buc-ee's, okay, let's do
Y'all both
Buc-ee's.
know where that is?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Buc-ee's, I'm not sure what the,
It's I don't know the address to it.
it's on
Buc-ee's and
I-45.
where?
And where? I can see if I can find the address.
And then in addition to the standard possession order, because he might move to like one weekend a month at that point, since it is so far. We're going to have FaceTime every Wednesday at 7:15, and that's both during the stair step and during, it just starts now, the FaceTime.
Okay.
And so I warn people of this all the time. Some children are chattier than others. Mine are not that chatty. If you made mine FaceTime, I don't know it would last more than 10 minutes, but some kids love to do it. So just, keep your expectations in check for how the FaceTimes go. You might want to think about reading to them or somehow figuring out games you can do on the phone. Because if you have kids like mine, those calls are going to be kind of silent, not because they don't love you, but because they are not good on the telephone, as far as I can tell, children. So
I think I have
be
an
aware of
address,
that.
Judge.
Mhm.
The Buc-ee's is actually in Madisonville.
Oh, okay. That sounds kind of familiar.
Yeah. It's like
that-
right before you get to Houston.
Before Dallas, you mean?
Yeah, Dallas,
Okay.
that's what I mean.
Madisonville is pretty far from the one in Ennis.
And that'll be whenever we go to standard, correct?
Yes. Oh, yeah. The one in Madisonville is like by Waco. That's not where you want to be.
Yeah, that I was about to say that was closer to.
Yeah, that's kind of in the middle of, that's past College Station, not too far from Waco. Yeah, nowhere near where you guys want to be.
Come on.
So that's visitation. I'll approve the joint managing conservatorship with Miss Towns having the right to determine the primary residence within the state of Texas. Paternity will be established for, it started with a B. What was her name?
Bristol.
Bristol, that's it. And her last name, support amounts you all agreed to. I will approve an order. It was $610 a month child support and $100 a month cash medical.
Did you have a ruling on the retro?
One moment. Let me make sure I catch everything. The non-disclosure, I'm going to deny. What was did you have a request?
Did I have a request?
Or did Ms. Brownzado calculate the request?
Well, I mean, if I were calculating it for the last 12 months or so, it would be $610 a month, because that's what his average would be for the, and I'm not sure before that for the 4 months after, or the 6 months, but that's what I would recommend for the 12 months.
How many months is she asking for total? This is from January 2022 to now. Okay. I'm going to order $5,000 in back child support. And I'm going to order him to pay that back at a rate of $60 each month, beginning October 1st, 2023. And I'll order Mr. Wood to pay court costs by March 31st, 2024.
During the modified, they'll be meeting at the Walmart is that correct?
I believe
Yes.
so.
And then the Buc-ee's on I-45. for the rest of them?
That's for the standard, correct?
Yes, yeah, once they get to standard. Once he's able to leave the Houston metro area.
Yes, ma'am.
So I think, well, I know that is your ruling, and your order. Does anyone have any questions?
No, Mom.
The Attorney General's
I have a
office.
question, but it's not about this. Mine is pertaining their Medicaid.
I'll let you talk to the Attorney General's office when we're done here, and they can probably answer that or possibly not answer it. I don't know. Depending on what the question is, they might not be able to. But they will be drafting up an order based on my ruling today, and they'll be sending it to me to review and sign off on and make sure it matches the ruling. And then they'll be sending you a copy for your records. Okay. So I'm sorry, sir.
After my 90-day probationary period's up at my job, I will be adding them to my insurance. So
As soon as you do that, immediately let us know. Give us a copy of the insurance card and showing that they're on it and the date they were put on it.
Yes, ma'am.
Because you'll have all three of your children on then.
Right.
Okay. Then we might have to do a quick order with y'all, just changing that, but.
Okay.
Okay. So you, sir, are free to go. Ma'am, if you have a question about Medicaid, we're going to have Ms. Jackson move you into a breakout room, and someone from the AG's office will join you.
I do have one. And when will visitation start?
It's on the 1st, 3rd, and 5th Saturday. So tomorrow is technically the 3rd Saturday of September. Are you prepared to do this tomorrow, Mr. Wood, or do you want to start on the 30th? Because it is a long drive.
Probably on the 30th. I'm not prepared right now.
Yeah, no, I understand. It's not like just getting in your car and.
Unless I could talk to him this weekend, that would be great. But
I can do that.
Did you hear that, sir?
Yes.
Okay. So yeah, he'll officially start on the 30th because it is logistical. It requires some thought. And then yeah, if he can talk to them before, then that would be great.
Alrighty.
Okay. Thank you so much. I'm going to stop your recording. So you're free to go, and motion to confirm support at rearage that the Attorney General's office filed on February 9th of 2023. All parties are present on Zoom today. You may proceed, Ms. Simone.
Thank you, Your Honor. We're here on a suit for modification, and I believe the parties have reached an agreement in this case. I'd like to start by stating the state will non-suit its request for a judgment in this case. And we're just moving forward with adjusting Mr. Carmen's child support. And may I go ahead and read that agreement into the record?
You may do so. Thank you.
Okay. Okay. Mr. Carmen has a gross monthly income of $6,337.92 based on an average of the past 12 months' wages. And he carries Everly on his insurance, or his health insurance and dental insurance through his job. And he's going to continue to do so. And he'll be given credit in the amount of $200 for that coverage. And that amount was kind of lumped together, so I didn't have a separate number for each. His child support would be adjusted to $980 a month, and that would begin October the 1st. And then court costs would be assessed to Mr. Carmen due on March 31st of 24. And I believe that's the extent of the agreement.
Okay. You may call your first witness.
Okay. I'll call Miss, it's Gara, correct?
Right.
Okay. And you're the mother of Everly.
Yes,
Okay. And did you have any safety concerns with your personal information being in the court order?
I do not.
Okay. And did you hear the agreement that I read to the court?
I did.
And is that your agreement with Mr. Carmen as you understand it?
Yes.
Okay. And do you believe that agreement will be in the best interest of your daughter?
Yes.
Okay. And would you like the judge to approve an order with those terms?
Yes.
Okay. I'll pass this witness.
You may call your next witness.
The state will call Mr. Carmen.
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Carmen, you're the father of Everly?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And did you hear the agreement that I read to the court?
I did.
Okay. And is that your agreement with Miss Gara?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And do you believe that agreement's in the best interest of your daughter?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And would you like the judge to sign an order with those terms today?
Yes, ma'am, please.
Okay. I'll go ahead and pass the witness.
Okay. Thank you both for coming in and for your patience today. I'm going to approve your agreement and render judgment based on it. And so I'm going to first recognize that the state is non-suiting its request for a judgment, and I will approve your agreed child support modification, where Mr. Carmen will be ordered to provide health insurance and dental insurance, and his child support is going to be modified to $980 each month, beginning October 1st, 2023. And I'll also approve an order that Mr. Carmen pay court costs by March 31st, 2024 to Liberty County. And I'll approve I'll deny the non-disclosure request in the pleading. So the Attorney General's office is going to draft an order based on your agreement and my ruling today, and they'll be sending it to me to review and to sign off on and to make sure it matches the ruling. And then you'll be receiving a copy for your records. Does anyone have any questions?
No, Your Honor.
No, ma'am.
Okay. Again, thank you for coming in and good luck going forward. And you are free to go for the day.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.